Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Lacking intelligence. In a state of mental numbness, especially as resulting from shock. Was stupid from fatigue. A person who is not very bright. The economy, stupid. Lacking or marked by lack of intellectual acuity. Lacking intelligence. A dull job with lazy and unintelligent coworkers. In a state of mental numbness, especially as resulting from shock. He had a dazed expression on his face. Stunned or confused and slow to react, as from blows or drunkenness or exhaustion. In a state of mental numbness, especially as resulting from shock. Lay semi-conscious, stunned, or stupefied, by the blow. Knocked unconscious by a heavy blow. Filled with the emotional impact of overwhelming surprise or shock. Stood in stunned silence. In a state of mental numbness, especially as resulting from shock. Lay semi-conscious, stunned, or stupefied, by the blow. As if struck dumb with astonishment and surprise. A person who is not very bright. A person who evokes boredom. A person who is not very bright. 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 Not using intelligence. Not using intelligence. Not having a head or formed without a head. The headless horseman. Lacking orderly continuity. A confused set of instructions. Perplexed by many conflicting situations or statements, filled with bewilderment. Bewildered and confused. Thrown into a state of disarray or confusion. A confused mass of papers on the desk. Having lost your bearings. Confused as to time or place or personal identity. Mentally confused. Unable to think with clarity or act intelligently. The flood of questions left her bewildered and confused. Used informally, stupid. Mentally sluggish. Mentally sluggish. Of especially persons, lacking sense or understanding or judgment. Lacking in insight or discernment. Too obtuse to grasp the implications of his behavior. Slow to learn or understand. Lacking intellectual acuity. He was either normally stupid or being deliberately obtuse. Of a leaf shape, rounded at the apex. Of an angle, between 90 and 180 degrees. Not marked by the use of reason. A senseless act. Of especially persons, lacking sense or understanding or judgment. Serving no useful purpose, having no excuse for being. Senseless violence. Unresponsive to stimulation. Drugged and senseless. Cause to proceed more slowly. The illness slowed him down. Of timepieces. The clock is almost an hour slow. Without speed, slow, is sometimes used informally for slowly. He spoke slowly. so lacking in interest as to cause mental weariness. Slow to learn or understand, lacking intellectual acuity. Worked with the slow students. Become slow or slower. Production slowed. Lose velocity, move more slowly. Of business, not active or brisk. Business is dull, or slow. At a slow tempo. The band played a slow waltz. Not moving quickly, taking a comparatively long time. A slow walker. Used of timepieces, indicating a time earlier than the correct time. The clock is slow. Of especially persons, lacking sense or understanding or judgment. Hard to pass through because of dense growth. Thick woods. Spoken as if with a thick tongue. The thick speech of a drunkard. Having a short and solid form or stature. A thick-set young man. Used informally, stupid. In quick succession. Misfortunes come fast and thick. Of darkness, densely dark. Thick night. Used informally, associated on close terms. The two were thick as thieves for months. With a thick consistency. The blood was flowing thick. The location of something surrounded by other things. Abounding, having a lot of. The top was thick with dust. Having component parts closely crowded together. Thick crowds. Not thin. Of a specific thickness or of relatively great extent from one surface to the opposite, usually in the smallest of the three solid dimensions. An inch thick. Relatively dense in consistency. Thick cream. Used informally, stupid. Used informally, stupid. Mentally sluggish. In a thoughtless manner. Not exhibiting or characterized by careful thought. Without care or thought for others. Deficient in magnitude. Barely perceptible. Lacking clarity or brightness or loudness, etc. Weak colors. Used of vowels or syllables, pronounced with little or no stress. A weak stress on the second syllable. Overly diluted, thin and insipid. Weak tea. Wanting in moral strength, courage, or will. Having the attributes of man as opposed to e.g. divine beings. Lacking bodily or muscular strength or vitality. Deficient in intelligence or mental power. A weak mind. Deficient or lacking in some skill. He's weak in spelling. Likely to fail under stress or pressure. The weak link in the chain. Not having authority, political strength, or governing power. A weak president. Tending downward in price. A weak market for oil stocks. Used of verbs, having standard, or regular, inflection. Wanting in physical strength. A weak pillar. Of especially persons, lacking sense or understanding or judgment. Used as complement, to the utmost degree. He was scared witless. Used informally, stupid.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.